All right, thanks, guys. UCF takes on Houston, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that matchup. The Cougars are the 10-point favorite, total at 133.5. We saw a 1.5-point fade of Houston and movement downward on the total. The Cougars opened 11.5 down to -10. Total open 134 down to 133.5. 63% are leaning UCF, 72% shaded toward the over. And right now, Central Florida is plus 450 on the money line. Now the Knights, pretty good against the point spread as of late. They're 6-3 against the spread in their last 9. They have a successful cover of the point spread against Oklahoma in that mix there. They're also a perfect 5-0 against the spread away from home. They're allowing just 65 points per contest. Colin Smith is averaging 13 points a game, 6 rebounds. Cesar DeJesus, 11 points a game, 3 assists for him. And Dazon Ingram, 8 rebounds, 4 assists for UCF. This Knights squad ranks in the top 20 in the country in road offensive rebounding. They also rank in the top 30 in points allowed on the road. Very well-rounded squad, and certainly good against the point spread is UCF. Now Houston, on the other side, kind of struggling to cover the number at home this year. And as a matter of fact, they've had 7 home games. They're just 3-4 against the spread in those 7. They've also failed to cover the point spread in 5 out of their last 8 games, taking on teams over 650. Now, when I refer to that of course is a win percentage. So once again, those top-tier teams with a win percentage over 650, this Houston squad went just 3-5 against the spread facing those squads. Now, 3 out of Houston's last 4 did get over the number. They're also 4-3 to the over at home. So with all that said and done, I think UCF should be able to keep it within double digits. I'm going to lean UCF Knights plus 10 and the over 133.5 in that game. All right, next matchup, Wisconsin taking on Ohio State, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Buckeyes are the 8-point favorite, total at 124.5. We saw a 2.5-point fade of Ohio State and movement upward on the total. The Buckeyes open 10.5 down to -8. Total open 124 up to 124.5. Ohio State just 1-2 against the spread in their handful of games that were played at the current point spread. Meanwhile, Wisconsin on the other side, 3-1 against the spread, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. Nate Roivers is averaging 15 points a game for the Badgers, 5 rebounds. He's also averaging 3 blocks. Demetric Trice, 11 points a game, 4 rebounds for the Badgers. And Akeem Ford, 10 points a game, 5 rebounds for Wisconsin. I'm sorry, that is Aleem Ford. Anyway, 5 out of Wisconsin's last 6 road games did stay under the total. Meanwhile, Ohio State, 67% to the under at home. I'm going to go ahead and lean Wisconsin plus 8 and the under 124.5 in that game. Next matchup, it is going to be Rutgers taking on Nebraska, and that's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that matchup. Rutgers is -6 on the road, total at 143. We saw a 0.5-point move toward the Scarlet Knights and movement upward on the total. Rutgers open 5.5 up to -6. Total open 142 up to 143. 57% are leaning Rutgers, 52% shaded toward the over. Right now, Nebraska is plus 225 on the money line. Now, if you like Nebraska in this matchup here, just keep in mind they've struggled as of late. They're just 2-4 straight up in their last 6. They suffered outright losses to the likes of North Dakota and George Mason within their last 10 contests. They're just 3-4 against the spread at home, 6-7 ATS overall for the year. They're allowing 75 points per contest on average. Now, Rutgers on the other side, they're shooting 47% from the field. They also rank in the top 30 in offensive rebounding. Nice little 4-game winning streak for them in their last 4, and they defeated Seton Hall and Wisconsin during that streak. Ron Harper, 12 points a game, 6 rebounds for him. Geo Baker, 11 points a game, 4 assists, and 2 steals on average for the Scarlet Knights. Rutgers ranks in the top 15 in points allowed, top 25 in defensive field goal percentage. Very, very good on the defensive side of things. Very difficult to put points up on the board against this Rutgers squad. As a matter of fact, they're giving up just 59 points per contest. Meanwhile, their opponents shooting just 37% from the field. One more thing to add about Rutgers. They rank in the top 35 in defensive rebounding in the nation. 6 out of Rutgers' last 9 games got over the number. Nebraska 60% to the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean Rutgers Scarlet Knights -6 in the over, 143 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Friday's college basketball action. Happy Friday. The weekend is already here. Now, before we go ahead and move on, just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we do daily premium sports picks on that website, beginning at just $1.99 per month. We also have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. We went 3-2 yesterday across the board on that Patreon website. Our hot package right now is our board member package. We're 5-1 in our last 6 board member package plays. We've also hit 6-2 in our last 8 crowd pleaser teasers. If you want to check out my current record, you can do that for free right now. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. Once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, couple more games to get through. So our next matchup is going to be Temple taking on Tulsa, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that matchup. The Temple Owls are the 2.5-point favorite away from home, total at 137. We saw a 0.5 point move toward Temple and movement upward on the total. The Owls open as the 2-point favorite, up to -2.5. Total open 135, up to 137. 61% are leaning Temple, 62% shaded toward the over. Right now, Tulsa is plus $1.25 on the money line. Now, if you like Tulsa in this matchup at home here, I know Temple's traveling kind of a long way, but Tulsa has lost their last 3 straight games. They're 0-3 straight up in their last 3. They've also dropped 4 out of their last 5. They've suffered outright losses to Colorado State and Arkansas State within the past couple of weeks. They're also kind of struggling against the point spread at home. Just 4-5 ATS at home. They gave up 98 points or more in 2 out of their last 3. Meanwhile, Temple on the other side, winners in their last 2 straight. That was UCF and Rider that they beat in their last couple of games. So pretty nice wins for them there. They were also really, really good at covering the point spread. 7-2 against the spread in their last 9. Quentin Rose is averaging 14 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Nate Pierre-Louis, 11 points a game, 9 rebounds. And Alani Moore, 10 points a game, 2 steals for the Owls. One more thing to add about Temple. They rank in the top 35 in offensive rebounding, top 10 in defensive field goal percentage. So really, really doing a great job shutting down these other teams. And they are 9-3 to the under overall for the year. So really no surprises there. I'm going to go ahead and lean Temple -2.5 and the under 137 in that game. All right, next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be Georgetown taking on Seton Hall, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. Seton Hall, they are the 6.5-point favorite, total at 147 and a hook. We saw a 0.5 point move toward the Pirates and movement upward on the total. Seton Hall open -6 up to -6.5. Total open 143.5 up to 147 and a hook. 59% are leaning Georgetown, 81% shaded toward the over. And right now the Hoyas are plus 245 on the money line. Now Georgetown doing a pretty good job covering the point spread away from home. 4-1 against the spread away from home, 6-1 against the spread in their last 7. They rank in the top 35 in scoring, top 35 in offensive rebounding. Omer Yurtseven, 18 points a game, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks for the Hoyas. Mac McClung, 16 points a game, 3 rebounds. Now keep an eye on Mac McClung. Keep a look at his status throughout the day here today because he is listed as questionable. So we'll have to take a look and see if Mac will play. But if he does, he is responsible for 16 points a game and 3 rebounds. And of course, James Aquino, 13 points a game, 4 assists for him. This Georgetown squad has outright victories this year over the likes of Syracuse, Oklahoma State, and Texas. Now, 4 out of Seton Hall's last 5 games on the other side stayed under the total. They're also 7-2 to the under in their last 9. So with all that in mind, I'm going to lean toward Georgetown away from home here. I'm also going to purchase the 0.5 point, buy it up, and take Georgetown plus 7 and the under 147.5 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we went 3-2 yesterday for our third straight day on that website. I like Temple minus 2.5 under 137. Georgetown plus 7 under 147.5. Rutgers minus 6 over 143. Wisconsin plus 8 under 124.5. And last but certainly not least, I like UCF, the Knights, plus 10 and the over 133.5 in that game. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/rockpage. But most importantly, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you on patreon.com/rockpage.